Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos? Vamos a ver la transmisión. Vamos a ver si me escuchan bien. ¿Me escuchan bien? ¿Me escuchan bien? ¿Qué tal? ¿Me escuchan? ¿Me escuchan o no? Está genial. Estamos viendo aquí a los mejores jugadores de Yu-Gi-Oh! Son los mejores jugadores del Dragon Duel. Vamos a ver primero. El perro, no me voy a dormir. Mira, solo chido como para dormirme. Este tipo trae buen deck. Si tienen comentarios pueden hacerlos aquí en el vivo. Súbele, vamos a subirlo.
Side from Japan, Takahiro Hamada. The third match, Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship. On the blue side, from Taiwan, Wang Jiachen.
Uno de los favoritos para poder ganar este mundial, así que esperemos que les vaya bien a ellos.
On the red side, from Australia, Bogdan Tevnik.
Ellos son los participantes que van a la final. Como todo un atleta con su uniforme deportivo.
以上3部門6名のファイナリストによる世界大会決勝戦、ただいまより開幕いたします。Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2018. It's time to
Time of Duel. Esos son los participantes que van a estar enfrentando en este mundial del 2008 de Yu-Gi-Oh! Esos son los mejores del mundo en este año. Voy a ver los comentarios, no tenemos comentarios. No.
Hello and welcome back to the World Championships 2018 for Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm joined with Jerome McHale and Robert Boyajin, and we're here with this crowd full of fantastic people to witness a crowning of a new champion.
That's right, we've got 2 duelists left in each division, and that's one too many. There's not enough room in this town for both of them, so we need one last round to determine who is the world champion in Yu-Gi-Oh! Both in Dragon Duel, the All Ages event, and in Duel Links.
Indeed. Choose your side. We'll see which one will be crowned this year's world champion.
The crowd has been invited to do the same, and they're participating in a stamp rally. They're able to turn in their cards for their votes, but if you're at your world celebration right now, which I hope you're not, it's a little late, back home at least, make sure you make your picks as well. So I'm pretty excited for these matchups we have today. So in the main event, which is going to be the last on the schedule, we've got Trickstar versus Altergeist, with Bodan Tevnik on Altergeist and Shin from Taiwan,
Yes, Taiwan.
on the pure Trickstar. We saw him play very well earlier today. That's going to be a pretty exciting match, I
We
think.
talked over that multiple times about how that would be possibly the most interesting final, so I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for it. But before that, we got to get our new Dragon Duel finalists. Charlie Futch III from the United States is in his second consecutive World Championship appearance.
Aquí es como estar en la final. Aquí estoy yo con ellos. Vamos así discutiendo exactamente. Sí, sí, está en toda la gente. Sí, sí, estás en toda la razón, tiene toda la razón. Exacto, sí, concuerdo con ello. Va a ser una final muy emocionante, muy divertida. Esperemos que sea de lo mejor que nos pueda traer y sobre todo que sea muy entretenida. Estamos aquí desde esperándola todo el día. Y pues, sí, como él dice, exacto. ¿Cómo sentirme aquí en la transmisión del Mundial?
Against the little bit boastful Charlie Fudge III.
Yeah, Charlie's on his second time around though, so you can forget a
Yeah,
little bit of braggadocio.
Yeah, no, I mean, he lost out in the top 4 last year, is that correct?
That's right.
To Ryan Yu.
Ryan.
Yeah, who actually ended up being 9th in the main event this year after he aged out.
Yep.
So Charlie's back with a vengeance. Goki mirror match. Both of them have a bunch of sweet tech on hiding your side.
Realmente esta es la parte
Spell
aburrida.
Striker.
Indeed, I love Spell Striker. That's a good one.
Yeah, a ton of interesting choices, less interaction, no trap cards. Anything interesting on Fudge's side?
Before we talk about that, we have a...
Pues esperemos que sea un día entretenido. Diga nomás.
Oh, I'm from Indiana. I was here at Worlds last year, and that said I've played in some regional. My strength is playing combo decks and doing well at big events. I think I'm gonna win because I know how to play my deck mostly better than everyone else, in my opinion.
Ich heiße Kai Heidinger, ich bin 13 Jahre alt, ich komme aus Deutschland. Ganz gut, ich habe sehr oft gegen Altergeist gespielt. Das Schlimmste ist bei Goki, da ist es eigentlich nur wichtig, wer anfängt beim Spielen. Ja. Vielleicht ein bisschen Erfahrung, weil ich seit 2014 spiele. Also ich versuch's.
So you asked me before the break
match,
if there's anything interesting in Charlie's deck.
On the blue side, from the USA, Charlie Fudge III.
Al Chile, un saludo Medellín, un saludo.
On the red side, from Germany, from Germany, Kai Heidinger. Dragon Duel 開始いたします。
¿Qué quieres, Eduardo Medellín? No, el gato, Eduardo.
So you asked me before the break, is there anything interesting or unique about Charlie Fudge's deck? And the answer is no. And that is what the interesting thing about it is.
Bueno, como comentaba, estamos a punto de iniciar aquí lo que es la transmisión. Estamos ya casi preparándose para que sea lo mejor de todo. Y pues simplemente vamos a esperar a que sea muy entretenido. Es el último Dragon Duels. Vamos a empezar con Dragon Duel, luego será lo que es Duel Links. Y después va a ser la gran final que todos estamos esperando. Así que pues esperemos que sea algo entretenido, algo que nos dé gusto y pues esperemos que nos vaya de lo mejor. Sí, sí, sí.
So we might see that in games 2 and 3 when we expect more cards like Wing Dragon Raw Sphere mode and answers to the combo that can beat Tri-Gate Wizard.
It's interesting though. Do the Goki air matchers do they really put in cards like Sphere mode, or do they just take their chances?
It depends on the list. I think that more recently in this tournament we've seen a higher dedication to just hand traps rather than the answers to the field already.
So, Freem Gear Gamma has been a popular choice throughout the event.
Absolutely, we even saw a couple of guys, banking on playing that in Goki, but unfortunately it didn't work out too well for those guys.
So that was the going second Goki deck.
Yeah.
Can you briefly explain basically what the rationale behind that is?
Yeah, so the rationale was that they think that the opponent's always going to choose first when they win the die roll, and if they win the die roll, they're going to just pick second. So with that deck, they're always going to get to go second when they want to, whoever wins the die roll, and then they built purely around that. So lots more hand traps than usually in the Goki deck, and then instead of trying to extra link at all, they are just aiming to be able to put enough damage on the board during the first turn after stopping their opponent and just OTKing right away.
And I think that was a response to basically perceiving a lot of mirror matches being the case.
Exactly. Which, and basically the two guys who brought that deck ended up playing against a bunch of Altergeist.
Yeah, but it wound up not being the case. There really weren't too many Goki mirror matches, right?
No, definitely not. It looks like Goki had the target on its head for the tournament, so we saw a lot of anti-meta decks like Altergeist, we saw Sky Striker, Pure Trickstar. There's a ton of decks all trying to interact as much as possible, so going second probably not the best strategy when your opponent's going to set up with a bunch of trap cards and ways to interact.
So the semifinals of Dragon Duels were both Goki versus Altergeist, if memory serves me correctly, and in both cases, Altergeist, the deck built to take on Goki, was unsuccessful.
Yes.
2 in a row.
Which is very different to how the main event's been looking. So the main event,
Goki's gone.
Yeah, Goki's been completely taken out, mostly by Altergeist.
Indeed, Bodan Tebnik took out the last Altergeist duelist in the semifinals.
Goki duelist.
Earlier, it's the last Goki duelist in the semifinals earlier today.
Yeah.
So our judges are going over the ground rules for the final match right now. They are basically the same as always. It is a best of 3.
Yeah, as you can see, these guys all headsetted up. The crowd has completely filled this venue, so there's a bunch of noise between us and them, but just in case, they got those headsets on.
And I'm checking behind me, and they are, in fact, delivering their undivided attention to the stage at the moment, waiting for this thing to get started. And this is just, the mirror match in the finals is really, that's tough. That's a tough ask right there. Yeah. Because so much is up to chance in this particular mirror match, and say something doesn't go wrong, something goes wrong in game 1. You want to make sure that you don't mess up your own combo in game 2 if you get the chance. Right. So, mental fortitude is the name of the game in this particular matchup. And also, having something that you can do to interact on your opponent's first turn.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that the die roll is going to play a big part here, but it's not the deciding factor, because it takes a good duelist to be able to stop their opponent at the right time with the right hand traps.
Yeah, the big thing is that Futch also has access to Ghost Reaper and Weird Cherries in the main deck, whereas Heidinger brings it out of the side deck. So Ghost Reaper and Weird Cherries being a huge bane to the Goki deck, removing all the Isoldes from their extra deck so that they aren't able to accomplish their sort of bread and butter combo.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In fact, during the pre-deck submission meetings earlier today, I saw Charlie talking to William about the merits of playing Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, as he was still trying to figure out his hand trap lineup. But Charlie knew what he wanted to play, and it was Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries.
Yeah.
Very good pick for this tournament overall, I think.
In addition to the fact that they expected so much Goki, it also could be a big answer to Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. One of the cards you expect to be very good against hand traps, you get to look at your hand, rip one out. But if they have the Ghost Reaper, they can just respond with it immediately. Now they're down a card, and no Isoldes in their extra deck.
Indeed, and if you expected a bunch of Sky Striker, you can even use it against that, but I'm not certain that either of these duelists did. I'm not really seeing any copies of Sky Striker in their extra decks.
No.
Not so much.
Yeah, we talked a bit about how Ghost Reaper and Weird Cherries is interesting against Sky Striker, and then if they are playing the pure version, they normal summon Ray.
Yes.
It's sort of hard to beat them because they can just respond and get whichever, either Kagari or Shizuku you have not targeted, or they just save whichever one.
Well, that's the thing, that you can choose after they use Ray.
Correct, yeah.
So you have to play both, which is 2 slots in your extra deck, and that's not necessarily something that Goki can afford there.
Yeah. Something that I'm finding quite amazing is that although both sleeves are actually red, because of the lighting in here, it looks like one of the guy's sleeves are red and one is blue. It looks awesome.
I actually think they are blue.
Yeah, oh, really?
They are blue
sleeved.
Oh,
okay. Well, there you go.
So I saw
that's probably why. Yeah,
the players were in the judges' room this morning.
They
the judge meeting room.
Wow.
Re-sleeving for the finals specifically.
There you go.
Got to be careful with those when you're walking past the pyrotechnics, though. You don't want to singe your deck right before you go on stage.
No, there was a large number of fireballs being cast just a little while back during the opening ceremony.
Now this production is great. It really got my blood pumping. If you tuned in at the very start, you got to see a performance by DJ Yummy and a Taiko drum crew.
Yes,
it was extremely entertaining.
Yeah, big DJ Yummy fan. I'm super excited to see her out here. Honestly, the whole crowd was pumped.
They were.
Yeah, if you did not see that, you missed out. So make sure to check out the VOD.
Right now we are deciding basically who's going to go first here.
Yep. So they're
Counting out the decks.
Yeah, they're being told to count their opponent's deck.
Yep, verify the content.
Yeah. So.
Yep, those sleeve colors are here to help you out in terms of which side is blue and which side is red. So Charlie Fudge will be playing with the blue sleeves, while as Kai Heidinger will be playing with the red.
Is he?
Yes, right now they're counting the opponent's
Oh, the opponent's deck.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. I initially thought that there was a little bit of a switcheroo, but not quite.
And it's not like it hasn't happened before. We've had entire Burning Abyss decks exchanged on stream.
Indeed, yeah. That was the 2014 NAWCQ.
I believe so. It was Frankino's. Joe Frankino, you probably know him if you've been to a number of Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series events. One of our regular judges.
Indeed, and now coverage writer.
Indeed.
So yeah, we had just a miscount of one of the decks there, so they're having another good count to make sure that everything is all good before the match starts.
You don't want to have anything go wrong in front of a crowd of thousands, would you?
No, that would be
Everything's got to be on the up and up.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why pretty much the whole judge team is stood right there next to them.
So when we were coming in, we talked about the thunder sticks, the blue and red sticks that you bang together and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You see them at basketball games a lot of the times behind the opponent's basket to use during free throw shots to make them miss. So everybody got them on their seats, and the judges came in and they also got them on their seats to cheer.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there like, what are we supposed to cheer for? We're impartial. We're supposed to ref this thing.
So I proceeded to go and steal them because I kept banging mine too hard and breaking them. That's what happened there. So as you can see on the... Well, actually, no, you can't see the overlay yet, which is good.
Possibly a little too much enthusiasm on the thunder sticks.
Yeah, a little bit too much. I'm a big fan of those things, so, got it waving. I was trying to get just some reaction from the crowd. Yeah, we had a few guys who were waving at me with the sticks. So that was pretty cool.
Well, the key was we had to get them during the stamp rally while they were picking the winners.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And then they just waved the ones that they thought were going to win. So yeah, there was pretty 50-50 whether they were going to wave the blue or the red one. I didn't really see a pattern of blue or red, but
speaking of who's going to win, who do you guys have? Before any dice rolls, who are you thinking?
I think I'll take Charlie. Charlie's been here before, essentially. He knows what it's like to fall just short, and I think his experience in this situation is going to help him keep a level head and get this done.
You think that on top of the fire, obviously, from last year, right?
Yes.
I mean, it got so close, yet so far, lost to his friend, Ryan Yu, and now he's back.
That's the thing, Ryan Yu, a good friend of his, he saw him win that and then come back again this year, and I'm certain that he wants to do the same.
Exactly. How do you feel over there, Luke? Who do you think?
I think I'm going to go with Kai.
Yeah.
I think he was playing Goki at the EUWCQ, and yeah, that's him following through with that is that's my reasoning behind that.
All right, we only got moments left. Who you got?
I think I got my man Charlie Fudge, USA, primarily because of his choice of main deck, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. I think that will definitely give him an edge in the matchup, and I think it's just lined up so well against Neospatial and Aqua Dolphin that seeing that interaction might just completely turn the tables, even if Heidinger wins the die roll.
All right, well, if you're watching at home, let us know who you got in the chat.
Yeah.
Comments, if they're open.
We're not going to be quite there yet, though. I've just heard that, yeah, we're going to have a double check of exactly how many cards each player has in their deck from the deck lists. So we're going to have to go find those.
Interesting. Well, we have the deck list right here. Let's see how many they're supposed to have.
We could run over and hand them, but I think it's much further than where they've got the deck list stored.
No, you can't use all your energy now. We still got a full match to
That's
cast.
a good point.
And then we got another one later on.
Yeah, running all the way over there.
Energy.
Yeah. I'm just coming back on the up from my jet lag. Kind of dip as the day goes on, and kind of come back up. So yeah, during the interlude we had today, I was on the down, and then had some pizza, and then back up. It's gonna work out. It's working out at the moment. Let's see if I can.
I was doing good. I got a little pumped up, waving the sticks
drum.
around.
Yeah, the drums was amazing. That got me really going, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still so excited to see the DJ come. So from there onward, and seeing everyone dance, everyone's so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, shout out to that one guy who was in the back just going crazy the entire time.
Yeah.
I want everyone to be like that guy.
Yeah,
he rules.
Exactly. Every club you've ever been in, there's that one person, they don't know how they're dancing, but the limbs are moving and stuff's happening. that was that one guy who's in the pack just now.
He's the man, and I hope he gets super pumped for the rest of this tournament as well.
I hope so. I hope the camera guy manages to find him in the crowd, because that would be amazing.
Alright, so I'm taking a look here, and Heininger should have 29 monsters, 13 spells, for a grand total of 42 cards.
Okay.
That's a little bigger than you might expect.
Yep, on Fudge's side, we have 26 monsters, 12 spells, and 3 trap cards, so a total of 41 cards.
41.
So they're both not playing 40, which makes it kind of interesting, so both of them may have questioned this.
Now, 42 is about the limit you get to before you start seeing appreciable decreases in seeing your key cards, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that can still be, you can still offset that by running essentially extra copies of things, searchers, that sort of thing, terraform,
Indeed.
reinforce with the army, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, especially in the Goki deck when there's so many options in terms of cards that can start your combo, like Junk Forward, Spell Striker, Gilosaurus, Instant Fusion, there's just a ton. So the fact that you can really just add all these extra cards, you can kind of go above that 40 limit and still maintain combo consistency.
Yes, indeed. And the part of the thing with Goki in particular is that you can't really play the big draw cards. There was a time when if your deck couldn't play Pot of Desires, it wasn't your deck, you shouldn't be playing it. But nowadays, when the combo decks are this powerful, you can't play Pot of Desires, you can't get those extra cards, because if you banish a key combo piece, like a Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, or both of your equips, then you're out of luck, you can't do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. When Pot of Desires first came out, it was used for consistency in decks that played just 3 of everything. So
that was just a couple years ago. It was actually right before a previous World Championship. And the whole thing with Pot of Desires, it was the Dark Illusion, that was the set that just came out. And there was a question on whether or not to allow the Dark Illusion in the World Championship that year. And it was an argument over, well, yeah, of course we should, versus it's a massive disadvantage to everybody who hasn't had it for 3 months, because Pot of Desires is a complicated card.
Yeah, completely changed how we looked at deck building, like you were mentioning. It rewarded decks for playing 3 copies of cards, like Blue Eyes would be an example of one.
Yes.
They don't really care how many cards they banish from their deck because they have so much redundancy. And decks that need key cards, like combo strategies such as Goki, you were talking about Divine Sword, other equip spells that they really need to send to the graveyard, or Octastretch that they really need to special summon from the deck, banishing any of those would be super detrimental.
Huge risk, really huge risk, but we saw it pay off in decks like Blue Eyes. That was in the World Championships in 2016.
Yeah, Blue Eyes in particular, that was what, back in Orlando?
Yeah, back in
Orlando.
Yeah, that was being played back then.
That was a very interesting tournament as well.
Yeah, it was a huge discussion as well of 2 versus 3
on Pot of Desires.
Yeah, that was always an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because 3 is obviously when you're desperate for the advantage in the deck. You really, really want to see it. Whereas 2 was more like you kind of want to see it, but
you want to see 1 and exactly 1.
Yes, you don't want to see anything more than 1,
but you want to draw it more than 15% of your games.
Yes, exactly. So you can't just play 1.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of 2.
I was actually on the 3 train for a very long time because I figured banishing 10 cards, it's very likely that I'm going to banish another Pot of Desires in those 10. However, the number of times I drew a second Pot of Desires off my first Pot of Desires, I went back to 2 very quickly.
Yeah, I do it anyways, even though I have 2.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
Yeah.
But I am legendarily unlucky for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I flip-flopped a lot.
Well, just know that by me drawing all these Pot of Desires, statistically you aren't. That's basically how it works.
Law of large numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so one thing from Charlie Fudge's side deck that I found interesting was Magical Midbreaker Field.
Yes.
And I don't think we saw that at all in the entire tournament so far.
No,
Hasn't played.
Yeah, so in both, I don't think it was very popular in the European WCQ either, right? It was in the North American WCQ, we didn't see it at all. How about in the European side?
Sorry, say that again. I was getting information in my ear.
No worries. Magical Midbreaker Field.
No, not at all. We didn't get it at all.
The region I think it was the most popular by far was OCG, the Asian region. Yeah, so we see it as a mainstay, usually a main deck card in a lot of the Goki decks, but they're more combo oriented. They're usually playing cards like Armageddon Knight, Destiny Hero Malicious. They're going as far as they can because they have access to these additional link monsters that can even combo further than what we've seen at this World Championship thus far. But it is a card that can give you a huge edge against all those hand traps.
Indeed. Yeah, and I'm actually a little surprised, like, for example, that Charlie didn't main deck Magical Midbreaker Field, especially if he expected a lot of Altergeist.
Indeed.
All those targeting effects.
Yeah. For those at home who don't know what it does, please tell us, what does Magical Midbreaker Field do?
So you can only activate it at the start of main phase 1, and you can't activate any other field spells while it's in play. Now what it does is it prevents your monsters from being targeted or destroyed by card effects during the main phase 1. I believe it's just main phase 1, correct?
Yes.
You can't target monsters or your opponent controls
So activate this card at the start of your main phase 1 or 2.
Oh, or 2, okay.
During each player's main phase 1, monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by their opponent's card effects. Also, neither player can target monsters their opponent controls. And then you cannot activate or set field spell cards. So when I first saw this card, it was actually used in combination with set rotation.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That makes sense.
That's a good one, because your opponent couldn't just...
Right, yeah, so you give it to your opponent, and then they can't play any other cards.
Right.
Yeah, especially if you're playing a combo deck like Spiral, right? Like, they really can't flip it, because then all of your combos just go off. Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Set rotation is one of those things that was really unpleasant.
Yeah.
It seemed to like come and go though, set rotation. I don't know whether that like
Well, it went when it got limited.
Yeah,
That's when it went.
But it was just such a short amount of time that we seemed to have it. I guess because it was so powerful.
Yeah, but at that point, field spells were becoming so integral to decks, essentially, that having a version of terraforming that also stopped your opponent from doing anything, and that's mainly due to interactions with cards like Gateway of Chaos or Oracle of Zephyra that had a mandatory search effect on the start on their activation, so you weren't allowed to flip them if you didn't have an appropriate monster in your deck, and nobody had a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster in their deck. And most of them didn't have a Zephyr monster in their deck, so it was essentially a death sentence for anyone trying to play, Trickstar Light Stage or anything like that.
Yeah, one we did see in the European territories was Dragon Ruby.
Yes.
Because that was also useful for the Spiral deck. Some people were playing...
Destrudo, right?
Destrudo,
the Destrudo deck with Ancient Fairy Dragon.
Right, yeah, I think it was the Dark Spiral deck, right? There was a lot of versions of that, played Armageddon Knight.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was
very, very powerful. Similar sort of to the... I keep on making comparisons between Spiral and Goki. Both of those decks, there's a more combo-oriented version that plays Armageddon Knight. So, I think that, in addition... talking about set rotation, terraforming is limited. The OCG, and thus limited for this World Championship. So just to put the power level ranking on set rotation...
Yeah, set rotation was limited first, was it not?
Yes, it was. So if terraforming can be limited in terms of power level, set rotation has to be. Yeah.
That's one of the interesting things with the change to Trickstars. So what is the thing that Trickstar lost most? I think it's terraforming. It's not reincarnation at all.
Yeah, I don't think reincarnation... I remember when I initially saw it being put to 1 in the OCG... I thought about it more, and the fact that they always get to search the reincarnation when they have the draw and lock for combo, or they search it as a piece of interaction when they already have access to Lycoris, that's not really the consistency hit, right? It's indeed what you said, terraforming, and then also if you're looking at the TCG variants of Trickstars that tend to play the Sky Striker engine, they also lose Hornet drones, which is another huge consistency.
Indeed. We still got Sky Strikers here because they don't really need the Hornet drones so much. They're going for Ray.
Right, yeah.
That's their thing.
Yeah, it's very rare that they actually search Hornet drones. A lot of times you see it as a defensive card, or maybe that card that gives them a little extra oomph, but because all of their Link monsters can special summon back the Ray when they leave the field, you really want Ray in the graveyard.
Yeah, so across the UK National Championships and then the following UCQ, Hornet drones was the card. People just didn't even play with it because they weren't playing the field version. It was all about Hornet drones.
Yeah, it's got... So Sky Strikers they're a engine basically that they can be their own deck, or they could just be your secondary card engine in a bunch of other decks. And it looks different depending on which deck you're playing. So like Trickstar Sky Striker, for example, uses Engage. Sometimes it uses Ray. I know Robbie likes to use Ray in it. You use Afterburners, Widow Anchor, all that good stuff. But if you go ahead and use it in Goki instead, then it's just Engage, it's Hornet drones, and then it's Eagle.
Eagle Booster, and we're talking about in the Goki deck, right?
Yes, in the Goki.
Yeah, so the big difference in playing your Sky Striker engine, whether you're a combo or you're a control deck, right? So in the combo deck, you want cards like Eagle Booster, which will help protect your extra deck monsters from being targeted or affected by card effects, right? So you can push through their hand traps with Isolde.
Yes.
On the control side, you have cards like Afterburners and Widow Anchor, stuff to interact with your opponent or disrupt your opponent, or even edge out card advantage, right? Because even if your Link monster gets stopped by something, that doesn't really matter. You're going for the long game in those matchups.
So, if you say with Goki, okay, it seems like, okay, it's this really consistent deck. All you need is 2 warriors on the field. It's so easy. You run like 20 of them, and they're all special summons. But is it really a 2-card combo, or is the combo actually the 2 warriors you put on the field, plus something to block at least 1 piece of interaction from your opponent?
You're right.
So plus Called by the Grave, or plus Midbreaker Field, or plus Eagle Booster, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's more than people are making out with the that it's just a 2-card combo, because it's not nowadays. You know, modern Yu-Gi-Oh really involves those interaction cards, and if you're not prepared for that, then your combo's never going to work. So I think that it's integral nowadays to kind of be protected against that interruption. I know it feels like an extra level that we...
Realmente esta es la parte aburrida donde pues están los comentaristas diciendo lo mejor de la semana y diciendo qué tipo de combos van a salir, pero pues realmente está muy aburrido, porque pues nosotros queremos ver acción, queremos ver cómo se dan la madre de todos estos vatos, pero pues todavía no se puede. Realmente la idea de transmitir ahorita en vivo pues es narrar lo que son los duelos, porque pues ahorita va a estar lo que son los Dragon Duels. Después de esto pues siguen lo que es el Duel Links, y ya por último, como las 3 o 4 de la mañana, no sé qué hora, va a salir la gran final, que es la que todos estamos esperando ver. Pero pues por lo pronto pues tenemos que ver cómo se están preparando, ya que pues ahorita pues tenemos a los niños, están ahí viendo, como que revisando sus decks o haciendo todos los preparativos para que esté listo. Y pues ahorita por lo pronto pues hay que esperar. Lo que voy a hacer, voy a intentar meter a ver si puedo hacer que se puedan meter más youtubers aquí en la transmisión. Lo intenté ahorita por Discord, pero no me dejó, así que pues intentaré hacer que se puedan unir. Entonces, por lo pronto pues los dejo con el audio original, lo que los sigo haciendo pruebas. Igual pueden dejar aquí en los comentarios, y van a ir saliendo en la pantalla. Por si quieren ir dejando comentarios, pues ahí se los dejo.
Similar with Drone Lockbird. There's a ton of cards. You got to look at the ways that players are trying to answer those hand traps. Call by the Grave, definite staple, right? But even then, cards like Siphon Gear Gamma and Infinite Impermanence don't get answered by Call by the Grave. Similar situation with Midbreaker Field. You have cards like Drone Lockbird, Ghost Reaper, Winter Cherries, once again being all-star. Then Neospatian Aqua Dolphin, you still have Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Even Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit's fine against that one. Being able to just destroy the Aqua Dolphin and removing that normal summon from the game is pretty important.
Can you use Ghost Ogre against Magical Midbreaker?
No, you can't.
No, you use it against Aqua Dolphin.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yes.
That's the interesting thing with Aqua Dolphin, is the whole checking the attack points.
Yeah.
Such a bizarre effect. It's one of those things that back when it came out in, Power of the Duelist? I think Power of the Duelist was when the Neospatians showed up, Season 2 of GX. That's one of those effects that you look at and you say, when is this ever going to be useful? It's just so strange.
Yeah.
But it's a card ahead of its time, really.
Definitely.
It came from space.
Okay, so I'm just being told that we're getting ready to go now.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so we're almost there. So let's go back to the predictions. What did we say? So
I went Charlie.
You went Charlie. Oh, let's do it.
Oh, we got the blue?
Let's blue.
Kick my blue over.
Here we go.
Where is
this
it?
one's your one. I'm going with this one.
Okay, we're going with blue.
You're on red, and you're on blue.
I'm on red.
One thing I love about the Neospatians is how powerful some of them have been in certain formats, right? This is a big one for Aqua Dolphin. If you remember Rescue Cat, Neospatian Dark Panther was just the bane of some players' existence.
Yeah.
Especially Blackwing. If you ever left up a Dark Arm Dragon and your opponent was able to Rescue Cat into Neospatian Dark Panther to copy that effect, immediate blowout.
That's old Rescue Cat, the one that doesn't negate the effects.
Right, yes. And same thing with against Gladiator Beast, being able to copy things like Prisma. I remember Rescue Cat into Dark Panther plus Test Tiger was huge. And Neospatian Grand Mole was also huge for a very long time in slower formats where you needed to set monsters. Being able to bounce it back and set your opponent back for full turn, devastating.
Speaking of Grand Mole, we've got a new fusion coming out that involves Grand Mole in, just a few weeks.
Yep, in the 2018 Megatons, the Jadenton has a brand new fusion, Elemental Hero Nebula Neos.
Neos it's a pretty good card. It does in fact let you fill up your hand a little bit when you play it. We'll leave the particulars of that later, but I will tell you that it is an on-summon effect that helps you fill up your hand.
Yeah. So I've just seen here that Kai Heidinger won the dice roll.
Okay.
With a 9 to a 7.
Alright.
And he's chosen to go first.
Alright. Then it looks like we are just about ready to go. I see opening hands being drawn.
Okay, so we are there. It is time to crown a new champion, the Dragon Duel World Champion for 2018. Will it be Charlie Fudge III?
Let's start the
or
first
Kai
match.
Heidinger from
Dragon
Germany?
Duel
Let's see.
Championship. 会場の皆さん一緒にカウントダウンお願いします。3、2、1、go!
Here we go. So, let's see who is going to be crowned the World Championship, World Champion of Dragon Duel 2018. Charlie Butch is brought along.
Vaya, por fin comenzamos el duelo.
Field center card there, kind of big man.
All right, here we go.
Up strong.
It's on in Chiba with Junk Forward and Marauding Captain.
Baja Junk, baja Marauding.
Three monsters on the field, but there.
Qué bueno.
Immediately out of the
For the
gate.
Ghost Ogre, but he's got called by the grave.
Call of the Grave.
He's got it.
He's got the call by the grave. He's going to show the Isolade, but
That's
immediately Kai's going to drop the call by the grave.
interesting note.
Has
You
to.
don't reveal Isolde until it resolves.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is
¿Qué
either a
jugador
procedural error
bajó
or a
Marauding? Bajó
mistake by Heidegger. It
especial
looks like
mono.
it's a procedural
Le
error.
quedó Cherry. Y pues el otro tenía respuesta, tenía Call of the Grave y le paró la
Wow, that's
jugada.
huge. That's a
Puedes
huge
ver
stop.
cómo se desmoran los sueños y esperanzas del
If
pobre
we're talking
Charlie.
about cards that answer these particular turn zero interaction
Qué
items.
chido.
Call by the grave the best.
Cadena 1 Isolde, cadena 2
So
el
Charlie's
Goki.
needing another one.
Qué chido. Oh, lo voy a cambiar.
He had to use Octastretch right there.
Yes.
So he probably does have another one in his deck. I do believe that is the case.
Indeed, yeah, so as long as he didn't
Ese
draw, he
con
would
el
still be able to
Goki.
use the effective Isolde, sending the Divine Sword to special summon it. He could also send both the spells to special summon the Headbat.
Which he just added to his hand.
Right,
El
so that means
suplex
he definitely still has the Octastretch.
con la Isolde.
Yep.
Voy a seguir moviendo, no te lo voy a dar para baraquear, para no tardarnos te voy a cambiar, así que no te voy a dar el deck, así que no hagas tanto tos. ¿Qué vas a hacer? Efecto de Isolde, voy a tirar como costo, la espadita, y le encadena una Impermanence, el efecto de la Isolde. Ok, la cae para el combo bien pinche chido. Ya como se chuflea, como un pro. Oh, la verdad es que le paró la jugada chida. Al parecer Kane no vi que más tenía en la mano, así que no sé si tenga algún otro combo, pero realmente abrió muy bien, tuvo muy buena respuesta este jugador de Estados Unidos.
Okay, well, the Charlie Butch, he had to use 2 cards out of his hand there to be able to stop Kai hiding his combo. So
After that, it only takes 2.
yeah, exactly.
And with 4 cards after he draws for turn going second.
He already activated both effects of Isolde, and they are both hard once per turn.
Looks like Butch is trying to explain that to his opponent that the effect has to be negated at activation.
The activation must be negated.
Yes.
Yes. And Charlie is 100% right. He has used both effects of Isolde, and he has made a useless Link Summon.
No, ¿y qué pasó? Me volteé tantito y el Marauding ya está en el cementerio.
How many parts of the effect, how many effects on the card are once per turn?
Right.
And in Isolde's case, it's both. So Heidegger is out both of his Isoldes without
Del
those
turno.
needing to resolve.
Draw, Standy, main, nada.
Charlie is jamming through his face, and he has Speedroid Takata on board. Probably the best start of the whole
bro, con el
Goki deck. Single
Takembo.
card gets you immediate rank 3 without a normal summon.
And he didn't draw the Kenneborg, so he gets the full value out of
Takembo
that
añade,
Terratome.
efecto, cae especia.
Good start. Multiple pieces of
Hace
interaction
un
on the
exit.
first turn. A rank 3.
Exit de rango 3.
And
Y vamos a ver a quién invoca. El Invoker. Va a hacer efecto para hacer especial desde el deck. Jugador Caín alemán, para parecer no tiene respuesta. Baja el suplex. Manda los dos. Va a hacer link de 2. Y pues ya sabemos a quién va a invocar. A Isolde. Va a efecto de suplex. Le pide a ver, va a ver su cementerio. Ella sabe que va a añadir.
definitely don't want to give Heidegger another turn. Indeed. Yeah. While his hand isn't good enough to break an extra
Revisa su
link,
mano.
right? It could just be one
Va a ver
card
que
away
añade
from
con
doing
la
something.
Isolde, que no le sirva tanto. Me imagino que va a
When you have
traer
the
al
opportunity in the duel, you
al
have
otro
to, especially with
suplex.
these combo decks.
Especially in the
Making take it.
finals.
Yeah.
You have to put them away right now.
He's still got to get through this isolate of Kai's though.
He does.
Yeah, you're able to Isol during Nightmare Cerebrus during the combo, right? You can easily summon that monster.
Realmente pues debería ser el suplex a menos que ya lo tenga en la mano. Algún rango alto para poderlo bajar junto con el combo.
While we're checking on this, Kai is taking a look through his own extra deck.
Main monster zone, but I guess you also have cards like Firewall Dragon, right? And Nightmare Unicorn if you're able to do that for you. Even actually Trigate Wizard.
Sí, como te decía, fue por el suplex. O sea, que le está asegurando que sí, por el Isolde me traje el suplex para que no haya falla. Hace efecto de Isolde, costo, tira la espadita. Y podemos ver la cara de Caín ahora como está todo triste. Porque pues ya le metieron el combo y yo no lo puedo meter. Perfecto. Tira el suplex que no le sirve. Link 2. El Goblin creo que es.
Well, the cost there is putting Genix controller in your deck, really.
Yeah.
So a lot like Brilliant Fusion. And
Uff.
Alright, Scorpio.
Se añade todo el plus. Es la magia. Ahora los dos y es como que pues sí, dale, sí. Dale, no hay falla. Voy a bajar Firewall.
Yeah, I think at this point Kai is just waiting to see if he can get any
Efecto de la espada. Vamos a Isolde. Vamos a el Invoker. Se añade la mano. Va a ser Link de 1. Voy a bajar la sirena. Efecto de la sirena. Descarta la espadita. Efecto de Firewall. Se especia. Y pues va a invocar a la Iblet. Perfecto, pues va a robar una. Vamos a riflear, no quiere. No, nomás parte de la sesión. Le dije, ¿qué onda? Pues voy a aparecer bien. Que él se toma su tiempo. Dije, no, pues ya me estás cambiando. Y pues espera.
Out of the effect? That is a question that seems to come up quite a bit. And frankly, I think Firewall Dragon's good enough just getting it once every time a monster leaves the field.
Yeah, let's be honest. We don't need to summon any more
Efecto de robar
monsters.
una.
So it's perfectly enough.
Alright, so Charlie's got it on the field there. He receives his deck back from the judges. Using the same procedures as earlier in the day today. So the judges are doing the final shuffling.
Vamos a efecto de la espada, que realmente la espada le da demasiado plus a lo que es el de Goki, que pues hace que no se gaste ningún recurso y pues le da muchos plus. Probablemente sea una de las cartas que toque nuevamente en la que es en la lista, pero pues ya vemos que anda. Ok, baja el Goblin, va a hacer efecto de Goblin, efecto de Firewall, descarta.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that on the download then. I'm a huge fan of the way people shuffle. Always tells something about the character.
Así que sí, procede.
And we've seen plenty of shuffling from all of our
Efecto 2.
at the World Championships.
Efecto de Firewall, ok. Baja el Marauding y va a hacer efecto de Goblin, va a robar una. Firewall era 2, cadena 2, cadena 1, me está diciendo. Me parece que quiere comillar para que no le haga efecto, pero pues está diciendo efecto, cadena 1. Sí. Y se pone a leer como si no supiera que hiciera, pues él está jugando lo mismo. Digo, realmente no. Está alegando, al parecer.
so that Ibli would be on the field first because of the mermaid, and he could then not summon from hand with Fireball Dragons. You can only
Que le
special
está
summon
diciendo que a lo mejor no va a robar.
in that
¿Por
case.
qué le está
And this is
reclamando
why you should
algo?
actually just
¿Un
never
ruling?
let your opponent do that. Don't let them tell you what your play is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think he needs this draw off of this Goblin anyway. He's probably got enough materials on the field.
This could be a case of Kai trying to get him a penalty, so they possibly be upgraded later in the match.
Could be right. Yep. So Charlie is going to use the effect of Firewall Dragon to bounce away his opponent's Isolde, as well as add back Ibli from his graveyard. That way he can normal summon it using the additional summon from the Nightmare Goblin and bring back the second copy of
Efecto
Nightmare
Lible, revive al Goblin.
So now it's a race to 8,000.
Casi la...
He's got 25 and 1,000 with the monsters in that column. He's got a Nightmare
Estoy
Goblin
pensando
Golem,
que
which will have
estaría
1,300.
mandando.
So 1,000, 1,300 is 23 plus 25 is 48. He's nowhere close to enough quite yet.
There's a bit more to be done yet, though.
Parecer por la respuesta que leyó lo puso nervioso y pues está viendo como
Charlie
que
thinking on his next extra deck summon.
ver que le baja. Que quitar el Firewall.
To be clear for our viewers at home, the World Championships duelists are encouraged to see the match out to the end. So that's why, a lot of you may be screaming at your screens right now. Kai should be moving on to the next game, but that's the reason why.
Goblin Idle.
But as you can see before, just like with that Fireball Dragon,
hace
it's entirely
link de
possible to
4.
make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Even here he was a little bit uncertain about what he wanted to link away. It looked like he was going to get rid of that Firewall Dragon, but he links away for Borlow Dragon, and I also saw a single card in his hand. He might just have Monster Reborn to really seal the deal. And a special summon Octo Stretch off of the effect of Fireball Dragon.
Cae en la el Kuribo.
So he's at 3,000.
Renace.
There's Monster Reborn. There it is. So he's got 3,000 and 13 and 25 and 1,000. 55, 65, 68.
Ya son 8,000
And
ahí.
Scorpio, even with the minus 1,000, is still going to be enough.
Le cuentan, son 2,500 y 1,000.
Riding is definitely on the wall for
3,500, 4,500 y 3,000. Ya el duelo.
Firewall Dragon connects. Nightmare Mermaid connects.
A lo mejor tendrá una respuesta. Le está diciendo que tiene 1,000 menos, que Kuribo no tiene ataque. Perfecto de la
Heidegger is
sirena.
telling him what his own cards do. Charlie knows. He also does not care. He is
Perfecto de la
continuing
sirena.
to attack.
Los monstruos que no estén
Yeah, I think
linkeados pierden 1,000 de ataque.
the mermaid is making them lose attack points.
That's correct.
Ya duelo.
It
Y
does
ya
not
sabe
matter.
que ya es duelo, no sé
Heidegger
por qué le pega el
loses
pro,
all of his
el
life points
jugador
in one
alemán,
shot.
pero pues
Yep, as you see the
tenemos el
trickle
primer
all
duelo
the way
ganado
down from
por
8,000 to 0.
Charlie de Estados Unidos, que le salió muy buena respuesta. Realmente estuvo muy bañado que le salieran las respuestas. Cuando le hizo Cherry dije, no, pues estuvo muy chido, ya que le respondió con Cáliz de Grave, y la verdad dije, no, pues es con eso. La verdad se sentía realizada. Señor Kane, dije, ya no va a pasar nada, ya le gané, pero no. La esa impermanence que jugó fue muy buena, y realmente fue la que le dio el duelo a nuestro amigo Charlie. Bueno, ahorita van a hacer el side deck y pues veamos el duelo 2, a ver cómo les va. La verdad estuvo muy bueno.
You shouldn't take anything away from Charlie there. He had the cards, but he was able to perform the combo as well.
Yeah,
That was a very complicated combo to be able to perform, especially on such a huge stage.
And we saw that Borlow Dragon as well, something that many of the Goki players are just cutting completely.
Yeah.
But it got him some key extra damage there. It's probably the biggest monster in his extra deck.
Right.
I think it is, by far.
likely so.
Yep, looks like it to me.
I think that's why he was initially considering linking away the Firewall Dragon and Monster Reborn it back, because that would have been the most damage he could have put on the field.
All right, yeah. Then he realized, oh wait, I'm playing the Borlow Dragon.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, we see some of both Playmakers and Revolver's key cards coming out in the Goki deck that duel.
Indeed, working together even.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose they were old foes in that secret project. But if you want to hear more about that, you really ought to be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Brains. It's an excellent
amazing.
series.
It really is.
Very good.
Yes, that's one big reason why I'm so excited for the main event finals. Yeah, we got a Ghost Girl deck against Blue Angel.
Indeed.
Two of the most popular characters, two of the coolest decks to watch play.
And I was looking to see, is anybody talking about the World Championship? What do they think about the final match? And I did see some fan art basically splicing together images to show them dueling against each other, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So it seems that the fans are pretty into it.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. I can't wait to see that duel.
I think Blue Angel might have a bit of an advantage in this case because we are like smack in the middle of Idol Mania right now. There's one group performing at the baseball stadium. There's another one in this building, just a few blocks away.
Yeah.
This very large convention center as well. And then we have Trickstars in the finals too.
It's clearly pop weekend.
It is. So we've got the choices have been made for the side decks. So let's take a look at that.
Yep.
So Heidinger has his Reapers and Winter Cherries in the side deck. I do believe he's going to try to give Charlie a taste of his own medicine on that one.
Indeed.
Along with his Infinite Permanences. Actually, no, he gets to go first, doesn't he? That's right.
Yes.
Despite starting so well, he did not win that match. So he does get to go first.
Yeah, so I don't think there's much that he's going to put into it. First he is. Yeah, these decks are built to go first. So while he did go second in that duel, we saw him basically turn behind. Oh no, he went first in the first.
He went first.
Yeah, even with Call by the Grave got beat out. Yeah, that is.
It's so strange that we can't even believe it still.
Incredible.
So Charlie though, he can get even more hand traps in. He's got those gammas.
Yep, full suite of gammas. He's got a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit even. Yeah, we'll probably see both those coming in. The rest of these cards are for either going first or battling the back row strategies, the more control strategies, trying to interact with those spells and trap cards.
Yeah, I think that might be what that second rematch is for. Because if you're trying to just combo off, you only ever need one.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you gotta grind through a bunch of traps, that sort of thing, then you might need the second one.
We saw Ghost Spell in Haunted Mansion.
Vamos de regreso y vemos cómo los jueces le están barajeando el deck. A ver, para que no hagas trampa, a ver. Vamos a chuflearlo. Ok. Ponerle parte.
Got a bit excited there, sorry. Sorry, live stream. Okay. Kai starting once again with a jump forward. Alright. Let's see if Charlie.
Excelente, vamos a volver a iniciar. Y pues vemos que el jugador alemán va a iniciar de nuevo. Digo, no ha pasado qué está pasando. Ok, baja Junk Special. Y pues no sé qué le está preguntando, pero al parecer por la cara que tiene nuestro amigo Charlie no le salió respuesta. Oh, dije que pues.
It's probably just one small aspect of card, something like the full effect of Headbat or something that might not come up too often.
Baja el Young Special. Imagino que voy a intentar hacer el mismo combo de Isolde. Vamos a ver si le salió respuesta a Charlie o si ya. Lo voy a dejar cambiar. Realmente la final de Goki es como que gana el que le salga la respuesta para poder pararle el combo del Isolde. Y pues muchos dicen que es consistencia, de que así traen armado el deck y por eso para mucho lo que es este tipo de decks, pero pues veamos, probablemente no le haya salido respuesta y tengamos un duelo más entretenido donde sí dejen cambiar a las personas. La gente pidiendo explicación o está haciendo mucho tiempo nuestro amigo Kane. Podemos ver la mano. Uff, ya vi por ahí una Cherry. Una bonita Cherry. Pero ese Charlie pues va a intentar conectar otra vez lo que es la Cherry contra el Isolde. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
Yeah, I must say the European YCSs, I played in one myself, and even when there are cards that you think you know what they do, you don't really know the
le dice que prosiga. Vamos.
Kind of what they do, you know. So
sometimes Fusion. Pago 1000. La fusión y en ese momento otra vez Cherry. Le entría Cherry, activas algo. Que si no sabe qué hace la Cherry. Selecciona Isolde otra vez y Está preguntando si va a resolver o qué onda.
Heidinger has the call by the game again.
Te da Carlos de Grey. Pero está diciendo que ya seleccionó.
And Charlie is arguing,
A
hey,
ver, aquí le está diciendo, te activé Cherry, te enseñé la Isolde y te dije que ya, que sí, y tú me dijiste que sí.
targets a monster.
Y dice, no, pues estaba leyéndola, ¿qué onda? Pues déjame, tengo respuesta, tengo una cara de Grey. O sea, no lo voy a decir que sí, como.
Negated for the rest
Y
of
pues
the
están
turn.
alegando eso.
So,
Y realmente si tienes una Carlos de Grey, pues como que la vas a activar luego nomás teniéndola. O sea, de que te,
call by the grave.
ya. Pero se entiende que sean,
Asher is right there on the
se
scene.
entiende que sean niños, pero al parecer los jueces le dijeron, no, tú dijiste que sí, aceptaste que resolviera la Cherry y pues ya,
That
digo,
is the right call.
ahí
This
fue
is
tu
part of why
culpa.
it's very important not to use the incorrect terminology when you're talking
Y
about
pues ya
cards.
el
So he's asking
jugador
for a target.
Charlie pues ya realmente no le importa de que dice, sí, ya baja todo lo que quieras, pues ya no me vas a poder hacer mucho.
Here's what I'm using.
Pero realmente estuvo muy feo eso de que, pues, digo, a lo mejor se ponen nerviosos, pero que está alegando que, pues si yo tengo respuesta y ya puedes hacer el combo. Pero pues a esta altura, pues sí,
So it's
debes estar muy bien preparado y pues sí, se entiende que sean niños, pero realmente o sea, sí se ponen nerviosos y pueden llegar a tener problemas así.
within the realms of him making that misstep, or whether he just, didn't know the right word to
Realmente
say
pues
to,
que es una lástima para el joven Kane que pues sí tenía respuesta de cómo poder parar esa Cherry y pues al tomar una mala decisión y pues no ponerse atento al duelo, pues ahí tuvo esa consecuencia y pues muy bien aplicada de lo que fue Charlie, de que pues reclamó al juez, de que le dijo de que pues qué onda. Mi oponente dijo que sí y pues ahora está diciendo que no, pues, qué onda, cómo está el rollo ahí.
That first one was Charlie's fault though. Like Charlie activated it, just immediately flipped it without asking for a change.
It's surprising then that the judges didn't step in there and explain it fully. How that interaction should have
Le
gone
está
down.
intentando copiar como puede. Le bajan la sirena. Respecto a la sirena para traerse un Giblet.
Right, yeah.
So Heininger's going to do the best he can without Isolde. And, well, we'll see. One of the skills of these combo decks is being able to play it when you lose one of your key pieces like this.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can navigate it.
Yeah, he seems to have a bunch of monsters.
Tiene una Carlos de Grave en la mano, así que ya la vio varias veces, no sé qué tanto le mira.
Nightmare Corruptor Ghibli right there. Doesn't do a whole lot other than stop your special summons while she's on the field. So when normal summon, you can special summon the Nightmare from the graveyard pointing to her.
Déjame ver el mundial.
It's interesting how we're going to see Heidinger try to navigate this one. That call by
Va a
the
ser
Grave
Link de
could be more
2.
as a piece of interaction during the
¿Qué
monster
hoja?
now rather than a way to push through the
Cerberus.
turn. Yeah, that's right.
Usa de efecto. Giblet, se le da la
It's a
Giblet.
little rough though because now, Charlie now knows that it's there.
Yes, yeah. Still, is it really that easy to play around?
Baja el de 2.
Called by the
Seguramente
Grave.
baja.
No,
¿Qué? ¿El
it's
Fénix?
not the easiest card to play around because it's a quick play spell.
Bajó un Fénix y un Cerberus.
Heidinger's got a Phoenix and a Cerberus.
Cerberus y un Fénix.
Even Ghibli. That's very interesting.
Pues fue lo mejor que pudo hacer. Se tiró la
I wonder what he's going to do with that.
Carlos de Grave, pues le dijo, va.
Why he gave it.
Realmente pues ya siento que está muy
I don't think so. I think that
muy dominado
because of how
nuestro
flustered
amigo
he was
Kane.
after that interaction with Ghost Reaper and Call by the Grave, he's just trying to work out as best he can given the situation.
It could be a case of, well, if you can't get a second warrior on the field because you can't special summon it, you can't get to your Isolde. So that could be the angle here. Charlie's up. Heidinger's monsters cannot be destroyed by battle.
Ahora
or
es el turno de
card
Charlie.
Yeah, I guess Ghibli doesn't help at all.
Va a
because
ser
it's just
efecto, va a ser Link de 1. Vamos a darle a
He's going to
Giblet.
attribute it away for
y va a bajar a la sirena.
Oh, Link stepped in away for
This mermaid.
yeah. Charlie's thinking about whether or not he's going to use the effective Nightmare Mermaid here.
Yeah, it's tough because getting the materials nice, but not being able to special summon warriors is less nice.
Yeah.
Pues está cantando efecto la
Do a little bit of
sirena.
math. It's a high pressure situation right there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. He's a match point away.
He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's thinking about it. And he activates.
Está diciendo por parte de efecto la
He's gonna
sirena.
discard Junk Forward.
Descarto el Young Warrior. Y traigo una
Special
isla.
summon Nibley from his deck.
Yeah, and that was the right play to use the mermaid's effect.
He might be trying to make, what do you think, Phoenix here to deal with the Call by the Grave? Is that why? Or what do you think, Jerome?
Hey, is it set? Oh yeah, that is
Yeah, it's
called
set
by
on the
the
far
Graves.
left.
That's probably what it's going to be. He needs one more monster for that, and he hasn't used his normal summon. But, I mean, all he's really doing in this case is forcing out the Call by the Grave.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, but is he losing too much to force out this call by the grave, do you think?
Digo, parece que sé que no, al Charlie no le salió buena mano porque
Yeah.
está tardando mucho en empezar las jugadas.
Yeah,
Pero bueno,
especially if he has an
ahí baja un
no
suplex.
effect on Googie Suplex because of the
Baja
Nibley.
suplex con Iblet.
And right here, he can just Call by the Grave
Que vamos a ver
the
qué
Suplex
es lo que va
anyway.
a convocar. Y convoca.
Just gonna get
No veo bien,
Cerberus.
pero creo que es un Cerberus.
Heidegger
Ah,
wants
efecto
yeah,
del
Rube, which is
suplex.
interesting.
French. Surely you would just call by the grave it because it's going to be his last chance.
Oh, you know, maybe he wants to take out a target from rematch.
That could be true.
Well,
Me
you would
imagino que
also
va
do
a
that
destruir al
by
Fénix.
Suplex that one, right? Oh, because
Pero
you
por
know later on.
Cerberus proviene que se destruyen
He
por
wants to chain it
efectos.
to that so
Y
that
el
he
otro
can't
por
just fill
batallas
his
y
screen
pues,
with more Gokis and just do supers that
No
way.
pasa nada.
Nightmare Cerberus, unfortunate for Charlie, cannot target either of those monsters.
Right.
He actually had a situation exactly like that in the finals of his WCQ in North America this year, where he
Ah,
summoned
no,
it and then
Cerberus
tried to
creo
target
que
an
no puede haber
untargetable
target.
set of nightmare monsters.
Well, hopefully he's learned his lesson this time now that he's on the World Championship stage.
It appears-
One game away from being crowned.
It's tough. This is where you got to tighten up the most.
Yeah.
Now he links away both nightmares. Is he going for? Yeah. He's going for a unicorn.
Looks like it.
Link de 3 manda
And he targets the set card. And he's going to take a look.
al unicornio.
Interesting. Do you think this is better than just summoning the Phoenix rather than the Cerberus and doing it then?
Este el unicornio, se quiere quitar la de atrás.
Phoenix, but he might have plans for that Phoenix later on
Later.
that we just don't know
Pero
about.
¿cuál es?
Sure.
Una Call of the Grave.
Heidegger clarifying how many cards Fudge has left and whether or not he's normal summoned this turn.
And he takes out Bear Hug. Definitely the right one in this case.
Yep.
That's the one that has not used its effect yet.
Maybe Fudge might be just filling his graveyard for, Living Pulse. I was going to say Soul Charge.
Possible, huh?
The Dapper Dinosaur rears his head again.
And use it for junk forward. Yeah, he's instant fusion next.
This is going to give him access to MX Saber Invoker
Para
after
Instant
he
Fusion.
summons away these two level 3
Una de
monsters.
3. En ese momento va a marcar un Invoker.
It succeeds material, so it is not banished.
Ahí tenemos, hace efecto.
And now we get another Suplex from the deck. And that is the one that he's already used the effect of.
Por
Yes.
suplex.
Comes out in defense, of course, but he's linking it away anyways. And Luke, I see you getting some statistics over there. What do you got?
Ahora Soldi.
I'm just, I was trying to figure out if I can get the Dragon Duel statistics.
Ah, okay.
He's going to activate the effect V sold now.
But it's not gonna give us much because they're both playing Goki.
Yeah, that's true.
Goki's definitely gonna win against Goki.
I think you're right.
I'm glad you're here. We needed a stats man for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
What can I say? 100% of the time, the mirror match is gonna win 50% of the time. It's important.
So Isolde, multiple effects here. I don't believe we've seen much of a glimpse of Kai's hand other than the called by the grave a bit earlier. So not sure what he might have in the way of interaction. What he does have in his deck, it's things like Droll and Lockbird, Ash Blossom. May or may not have put in Ghost Reapers, but we're assuming that he did not since he's going first. Right, this one's combo pieces.
So Charlie has been able to work his way through this, managed to get rid of that call by the grave, and now he's been able to use his Easel Age, which is usually where the big Goki combo starts.
And it goes through.
Pues ya está combinando con la espadita. Está la espadita. Se va a empezar a hacer los más unos. Vamos a ver qué tipo de combo ahora nos va a poder mostrar.
Because of the co-link status of hiding our monsters. Well, they can't be targeted by nightmares, so Phoenix wouldn't be able to draw, or Cerberus wouldn't be able to draw.
Bit of a difficult situation, even with all the cards that Charlie has here to break up that board of Kai's.
What he could do is he could get that Vorlode.
Yeah, he could go back to that Vorlode dragon again. That would certainly help out.
He has to use the Assault here because he doesn't have an open zone otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
Let's use the Unicorn. He could. Use the Unicorn to switch extra monster zones. Now goes all three.
Interesting choice.
The Vorlode.
That's a hell of a lot of
material. Vorlode.
Yeah.
Because that's the non-targeting, non-destructive out that he has to Heidinger's Field. He certainly can.
Yeah, Isolate for 2.
Isolde's 2. Unicorn's 1.
Estoy diciendo que vamos a bajar una de 4 si es 3 y 2, pero pues dice, pues me pide 3 monstruos, así que si es legal, si lo puede bajar. Estando patadas de gado, nuestro amigo Kane. Y está aplicando un suplex.
We were talking about this yesterday, just how strong Vorlode Dragon is, just as a standalone.
Oh, está ahí tallado.
The best answer to Vorlode is another Vorlode.
Yeah.
So everybody needs a Vorlode.
Yeah.
If you don't have yours yet, you'll have a chance to get it in the Mega Packs in this year's Mega Tins a little later on. Rematch is Surge, and comes down looking back, Octa Stretch, and Suprex.
Está pensando que le va a bajar con esos dos monos. Esto por empezar ya le quitó el combo con el puro borrelado, ya lo va a limpiar.
Charlie once again is going to link away some of his monsters to some Phoenix.
Baja un Fénix. Batalla. Efecto, batalla, se roba el Fénix.
Takes control of the Nightmare Phoenix there. He can't target for the minus 500 until just now.
Baja tiene tu ataque. La va a pegar.
1100 gets hit for 8.
Y va a pegar el otro Fénix, también lo daña.
Yep, dual snipe 9 damage there. Phoenix is going to go unimpeded.
That's 1900 more. And then the big bad Vorlode cannot attack because it already did to steal the monster. It's a very unique way of taking monsters.
Yeah.
Most of it's done in the main phase, but Vorlode does it in battle.
Yeah, certainly one of my favorite Link monsters is Vorlode Dragon.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it as well.
Being able to take stuff is just always nice.
All the Vorlode monsters are pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've got that new one just came out,
Boral Sword Dragon is by far my favorite. That one is so powerful.
It's pretty big over here in Japan. Why don't you tell them about it?
Yeah, so Boral Sword Dragon is an interesting monster because it can be used both offensively and defensively, but primarily offensively.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a sword, you know.
Indeed. Thoroughly enjoying the way the life points are counting down here. the slow drain. Yeah, they're just...
Get the anime sound effects in.
Oh, I didn't actually know how far he was going to go down. I said beep just as it finished.
Rolling health is an interesting mechanic. You see that in some other games from time to time.
Yeah.
No rolling health mechanic here. Heidinger's, if he goes to 0, he goes to 0, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah. I should have just rolled with that. I should have just been pretending like I knew it was going to happen and I beamed at the right time.
And it's bad times for Kai as he's forced to just set a monster and pass.
Yeah, Kai's not had a really good run during this particular matchup.
He had a kind of a marathon match in his semifinals against Kim from Korea.
Yeah.
That match went very, very long.
Oh yeah, I saw that against Altergeist.
A lot of translation required and a lot of complex situations, and it went close to 30 minutes past time with extensions. So that's exhausting, and to have to come back here and play one more against an opponent who might be fresher, that's tough.
Here we go. So Charlie Fudge III is
That's
your
it. Big smile from
world
Fudge.
champion.
Incredible.
So Charlie Fudge from the US taking championship.
As the light points are rolling down on the screen.
Realmente era de esperarse que ganara, porque pues le salió muy buenas respuestas y pues esa tremenda colmillada de no dejarla usar su Call of the Grey estuvo muy bueno. Que pues muchas felicidades.
Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2018 Dragon Duel Champion from the USA, Charlie Fudge III!
Un error te costó el campeonato mundial. Así es el Yugi, así es lo bonito del Yugi, y pues realmente muy merecido, y ahí lo tenemos.
Congratulations! Charlie, please say a few words about your victory!
I had a lot of fun. とても楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。
素晴らしい試合を見せてくれた選手にもう一度拍手をお願いします。選手退場です。Please return to your waiting room.
Champion Charlie Fudge III from the United States of America. Condolences to Kai Heidinger, who put up a good showing in the tournament, but alas.
Y pues bueno, acaba de finalizar esta gran final de lo que fue el Dragon Duel. Estuvo muy bueno. Pues voy a pasar a lo que es el directo, en lo que comienza ya lo que es la nueva de Duel Links, así que pues si quieres seguir toda la transmisión, pues vuelve también aquí ahorita en unos momentos más y estaré subiendo nuevamente el en vivo para que todos conmigo me sigan acompañando. Así que nos vemos ahorita que empiece la final de Duel Links.